A lot of people are talking about Kevin Feige because with the report that's been running around all the trades the past couple days about a potential Kathleen Kennedy exit from Lucasfilm, a lot of people obviously have guesses about who it could potentially be to if she does step down to take her place. And one person has been talked about a lot besides the other Fs. And I don't mean that in terms of F slurs, although I kind of do with Dave Filoni. But with Favreau and Filoni's name being thrown out, Kevin Feige's name is out there as well. Disney Insider's predicting a marvelous successor to the Star Wars empire. And Kevin Feige's name has been thrown out there a lot over the past few days with people in the industry guessing as who might end up being there for the job. And to me, it's so ironic that if this was announced in 2019, could you imagine this, Jay? If in 2019, after Last Jedi, Solo, Rise of Skywalker, disasters, if it was announced, even with maybe the bad taste that Endgame left in some people's mouths in a way, if this had been announced that Kevin Feige was coming from Marvel to take over Star Wars, can you imagine the hype that would be surrounding an announcement like that? But
did they not make that announcement
later? And it feels a little bit different, doesn't it?
Yes. There was like stories out there that he was going to get his own Star Wars movie or stuff like that. There was like all kinds of like stuff going out about him, but he will not save Star Wars whatsoever. And if he wants to tarnish whatever legacy he has back, yeah, let him take over Star Wars. But nothing will save it. Like there is no one that I could think of. Not even George. The George Lucas conversation is stupid. But like there is no one I could think of
He's not
that could come in and save this franchise. It literally just needs to stop for like 20 years and let another generation rediscover it, and hopefully they'll discover the good stuff about it and build it from there. I did say what's interesting is I did say the same thing about Transformers, right? I thought Transformers was over. I'm a huge Transformer person. I love the G1 stuff. I was like, well, you know, they'll never bring any of that stuff back. But the Skybound like took over those IP, like they licensed out G.I. Joe and Transformers. And the Skybound Transformer comics have been some of the best Transformers media I have read in probably forever. It has been fantastic. So maybe there is someone out there that could, but no one in Hollywood that I know of that could take that IP and do anything with it. But definitely not Feige. I mean, like he's a disaster. Look what's happening to Marvel right now. It's just
it's so funny because you have people calling for him to step down and be done and over at Marvel, while other people are like, you know what, he might be a good replacement over at Lucasfilm. And again, if this had been 6 years ago, people would have gone nuts over this idea of the guy who had led the MCU all the way through its 3 phases would come over to Star Wars and try to fix what had been broken. But it feels a lot different now. Now, I do think that they want to change things around with Marvel. They know how badly they've fucked up in a lot of ways, and we'll see what happens in the next couple movies. But there might be too much damage done to that franchise to turn it around with the characters that they have left in the way that they're going to try to use them. But
you know, I
do know that Kevin Feige is a Star Wars fan. I know that Kevin Feige cares about Star Wars. I know that he wanted to do a Star Wars movie, and that Kathleen Kennedy specifically shut it down. She didn't want it to happen. So there might be an axe to grind there. I don't know.
I do know what's interesting is that when you listen to the Disney earnings call and over the past year, when they, or even like last year, when they talked about, people would ask questions about, hey, some of your movies ain't doing so well. They would always pull from like the 3 films that did amazing. They'd always bring up Avatar 2. This past one, they brought up Deadpool and Wolverine, and they brought up the Spider-Man one. They never really addressed the problem. It's almost like they're over there saying, well, we could put out a couple stinkers as long as we have one that does really well, and we'll just keep moving. So they never really addressed these problems. The Lucasfilm thing should have been addressed years ago. I mean, after the rise of, you could literally see the bar graph going in the wrong direction. after a couple of like either the shows or even the money that the films were making. That should have been addressed a long time ago, but they didn't. So they probably won't address this. And the way that Disney works, they just reshuffle people back and forth. So maybe he will be the guy that's been put in charge. I don't know. But at this point, it's going to be laughable. I'm going to go on record and say if Kennedy leaves this year, with a big if, they're going to find some other woman to replace. She will be replaced by another woman. That's what I'm saying. They pushed hard to turn Star Wars into a girl brand, and I just think they won't change. I think they will keep pushing that girl brand with the Rey movie coming out and all that stuff, and they'll blame everybody else but themselves, and that'll be the end of it. Yeah.
Well, look, there's a lot of female energy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's
positions at Star Wars,
and you're right. Dave Filoni's the biggest female of the bunch.
Yeah,
so.
Including this big old bitch right here, Dave Filoni. Fucking cowboy hat.
Who is that? Pippa Anderson? Who the freak is Pippa Anderson? Why don't you put her in charge?
Senior Vice President of Post-Production.
Post-production. Even these guys don't look masculine. I'm sorry. Dong Chang. Is that what his name is? Dong? Oh, Doug.
Doug Chang's actually been around for quite some time.
I apologize.
Quite some time.
It must be these glasses. I don't know.
We'll see. Again, like you said, it's an if it happens. And if it happens, it's not some victory. It's not some celebration. She'll ride off into the sunset with a thank you, a congratulations, and we appreciate you so much. Not being fired for destroying Star Wars.
Yeah.
If and when this happens. Because the bitch is getting old. The bitch is getting old.